Find. Is anybody out there?
The most important scientific question that has ever confronted mankind, namely, are we alone in this galaxy or are we not?
A deep dive into the bizarre UFO history and sightings in the Northwest.
It took off in a straight line, straight out this way.
Then,
I love being with intelligent people. I hate spending time with stupid people.
refined chats with Jeopardy host Alex Trebek about the show's historic tournament week.
Yes, I am nervous about this event.
Plus, it's the biggest night in Hollywood. We have your insider guide to the Oscars.
I think that could be the most shocking thing that happens this Oscars.
Seattle Refined starts now.
Hey, welcome to Seattle Refined, everybody. I'm Gard Swanson. Do you ever look up at the night sky and wonder if someone or something is looking back at you? Refined's John Prentice thinks about that all the time. So he set off on his own investigation and discovered the Northwest is a hotspot for UFOs and the unexplained for decades.
We walked a few hundred yards up to the crop circles, and here they are.
I can't really rule out aliens.
It was like an automobile flare, except green.
This will be the final word on the Roswell incident.
I think the Air Force should come up with the bodies. I think we have a right to see them.
Space. Deep and mysterious. There is so little we know about the vast expanses beyond our planet.
The universe is really big.
Dr. Bernard Bates from the University of Puget Sound Physics Department says the universe as we know it is about 13 billion years old and possibly infinite in size. Bates says that massive amount of time and space makes the probability of intelligent life elsewhere?
Oh, probably 100% when you look at the entire universe.
We're dealing with a subject that is the most important scientific question that has ever confronted mankind, namely, are we alone in this galaxy, or are we not?
Peter Davenport is the director of the National UFO Reporting Center and Hotline, established here in Washington State in 1974. Davenport says over the more than 20 years he's been documenting and investigating UFO activity, he's heard too many stories from people he says have no reason to lie to believe we're not alone.
They're describing objects that exhibit characteristics that cannot be ascribed to terrestrial technology.
Strange lights above Arizona in 1997, credited to be military flares, but believed by many witnesses to have extraterrestrial origin.
That's not our LNS though, is it? Well, the flares, look at that thing.
And this unknown flying object spotted by a military jet in 2004. These are two of the most famous modern UFO sightings, but the first encounter to make national headlines originated here in Washington above the Cascade Mountains more than 70 years ago. The account of pilot Kenneth Arnold spotting 9 saucer-like aircraft above Mount Rainier was first published in Pendleton's East Oregonian in 1947.
It went nationwide, and that's the story that gave us the term flying saucers. We've been stuck with that term ever since.
UFO fever took America by storm, and the government took notice. These documents obtained from the CIA outline Project Blue Book, an investigation led by the U.S. Air Force into the existence and possible threat to America from UFOs. Also under investigation, what the Soviet Union might know and isn't sharing. From the beginning, credible evidence of UFOs has been elusive. Soon after his famous saucer sighting, Kenneth Arnold said he bought a camera and he'd get proof, quote, next time. The East Oregonian ran the story, and as far as we know, Arnold never captured a UFO on film. But this photograph ran in the same newspaper summer of 2018.
I've worked here since late 2005.
Phil Wright is a reporter for the East Oregonian, located in Pendleton, Oregon.
And my normal beat is public safety, cops, a little bit of county government. And we had some locals who messaged us on Facebook and said, hey, there's something weird flying over the skies of Pendleton. And I followed up with them, and so we did a little story on a UFO.
So where did you spot this thing in the sky?
It was over this way.
Virgil and Tanya say they were out helping repave this road when they saw it.
We noticed something was up in the sky. It was like, what is that? You know, so we started looking closer. That's when I got out my cell phone and I started doing video.
So the neighbor, he went and got his binoculars, which were very large, and so we were able to look at it through the binoculars, and then we realized that it really was something.
Virgil says the object was stationary for 3 or 4 hours, A photographer from the East Oregonian captured this image. Then
it took off in a straight line, straight out this way. That's where the news guy was talking to his friend who was working on a house out there in those fields. And it was just like...
And the photographer who took this photo says his friend didn't see a puffy white object like this at all, but a metallic disc passing overhead. Then it vanished.
And after sort of interviewing the first folks at the scene, I wanted to make some phone calls to find out what this could be.
Phil says he called the airport, the National Guard unit, and checked into drone activity. Nothing.
So there wasn't supposed to be anything there?
No, there wasn't. So, but there were several people who saw it.
And what do you think it was?
I think it was something earthbound. I think it was something that we made. What it was, I don't know. You know, but the idea of an unidentified flying object, I think it completely fits that.
So what do you guys think it was?
Well, it just had to be the obvious, you know. We're on Mars right now, and they're down here checking us out, you know.
Alien spaceship, top secret cloaked military aircraft, a trash bag caught in the wind. We don't know. For now, it is truly an unidentified flying object.
This has been a hot spot going all the way back for decades.
Maureen Morgan is the Washington State Director of the Mutual UFO Network, MUFON for short, a nationwide organization dedicated to documenting and investigating UFO activity.
It's all about providing the public with a place where they can report sightings. Someone makes a report with MUFON, they give their address, they give their name, they give their contact information, and they know somebody's going to call and interview them. So I think that calls out the people who are simply making hoax calls.
There's a lot we don't understand, and that's why people like me devote their lives to trying to collect data and make heads or tails out of it.
I'm not sure right now that we can even know the truth.
If you have your books, turn to page 3. We'll have a lesson.
But in 1997, 50 years after Roswell and Kenneth Arnold, the Pentagon tried to offer some truth at a press conference releasing this report, Roswell, case closed.
Please roll the video. What was recovered near Roswell, New Mexico in July 1947 was debris from a formerly top-secret Army Air Forces research project, codenamed Mogul.
The Air Force said high-altitude ejector seats with dummies, saucer-like space probes, kites, and thousands of balloons launched into the New Mexico desert were the cause of the bizarre occurrences seen near Roswell since 1947. But none of the video evidence shown here was from 1947, leading reporters to ask these questions.
Can you help us with when the dummies were first used? What year?
53.
How do you know that you're not being used? How do you know that you know the full story when you do you believe in UFOs?
Personally, no, sir.
Everything around Roswell has become so muddied that of all the cases one can really get into, to me, that's one that needs to be put to bed.
What do you think it would take to get the general public to believe that extraterrestrials have visited our planet?
Two things, I think, principally. Number one is the classic landing or a crash that nobody can deny. The government, it appears, has been very successful in covering up a lot of UFO events. The other thing is the construction of a passive radar system. We will be able to detect UFOs directly, and we won't have to rely on eyewitnesses and fuzzy photographs. They're the bane of my existence.
But Peter and Maureen say if you've seen something, tell them. No matter how long ago, they say every encounter helps in solving the UFO mystery.
You know, if they were to visit us, the odds that they are roughly at the same level of technology that we are incredibly small. Whether they would do it with flying saucers or not is a kind of a quaint 50-ish idea of what you do. They probably would have something like drones, very small drones, dust-sized drones, and we would never know that they're here.
What do you think about when you look up into the night sky?
It's just a sense of wonder, okay? I think there's someone else out there, again, not close and not flying to us with flying saucers, and it'd be nice to talk to them if they really are out there.
John Prentice, Seattle Refined.
Do you have a UFO story for us? Email us at hello@seattlerefined.com. And if you want to take a peek at the CIA's X-Files yourself, head to our website. Seattle Refined is just getting started.
Some people think my noodle is too expensive, but people start understanding how labor it takes.
A local chef shows off a noodle art form that only few have mastered in the entire world. Plus,
the one that I'm personally looking forward to is Best Actress.
Our refined critic weighs in on the biggest categories at this year's Academy Awards. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Refined. It is a big week in Hollywood. The 91st Academy Awards takes place this Sunday, and it'll air right here on Como. So who's going to take home Oscar Gold this year? Here's our refined film critic, Candace McMillan, to give us the inside scoop.
The 91st Academy Awards are coming up this Sunday, and it could be a big night of firsts. The one that I'm personally looking forward to is Best Actress. I want to see if Glenn Close can get it. She's never won an Oscar.
I can't take the humiliation.
The competition has been so fierce for Best Actress because there have been so many amazing films starring female leads. We have The Favorite, we have The Wife, we have A Star is Born. These are incredible vessels for these actresses to perform.
I don't sing my own songs.
Why?
I just don't feel comfortable.
I think if there's going to be one huge upset, it's going to be Glenn Close losing. She's the veteran of this industry, and I would be shocked if they didn't give her that honor.
Joe had a very heavy hand as a teacher.
I think that could be the most shocking thing that happens this Oscars. Another one everyone is watching is Best Actor. 2 weeks ago, I would have said Christian Bale would have won it for Vice. He was transformative as Dick Cheney. But now, Rami Malek is kind of sneaking his way in there for Bohemian Rhapsody, his role as Freddie Mercury. It was a crazy role. He sang, he danced, and I think people like to see that.
Then you'll need someone new.
One of the least shocking categories is Best Supporting Actor, and it's going to go to Mahershala Ali for Green Book. He won every award under the sun, and I don't think he has a competitor.
So if I'm not black enough, and if I'm not white enough, then tell me, what am I?
In most categories, there are two people who are vying for the prize. In this one, it's going to go to Mahershala. Another one I don't think is going to be shocking is Best Supporting Actress. Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk has won the Golden Globe. She's kind of the favorite in this category. Another big category is Best Director. Alfonso Cuarón for Roma, which is his passion project. He made it in honor of his nanny growing up. He was going to win it a couple weeks ago, and I think now it's in Spike Lee's favor. Spike Lee has never been nominated for a Directing Academy Award. He's never won an Academy Award. I think this is his time.
Knights of the Ku Klux Klan. That's us, Stallworth Brothers.
And of course, Best Picture is a big deal this year. We have Black Panther. It's the first superhero movie to ever be nominated for an Oscar. Wonder Woman was snubbed a few years ago, and that was a big controversy. So the Academy is kind of making it up to its viewers by nominating Black Panther. And it was a great film.
Don't freeze.
I never freeze.
I actually do believe Black Panther has a shot at winning. I think its biggest competitor is probably Roma. It's crazy that a Netflix film is nominated. After every Oscars night, we see one film that really stands apart from the others, and I think this year it's going to be Roma.
Good luck to all the nominees. You can bet we'll be watching. Again, the 91st Academy Awards air Sunday night right here on Como 4. Coming up, one-on-one with Jeopardy host Alex Trebek, why you should be watching the hit quiz show tonight. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Garth Swanson. Well, all eyes are on America's favorite quiz show. Jeopardy kicks off their All-Star Games tournament. The winner gets big money and big bragging rights.
I chatted with the iconic host, Alex Trebek, about the historic tournament.
Hi, Gard. How are you today?
I am doing fantastic. Hey, real quick, tell us about this All-Star tournament. It looks so exciting.
Well, it is exciting, and especially for you folks in Seattle who watch on Como TV, because Ken Jennings is one of the team captains, and you all know how successful he has been in the past. And he is one of the 6 captains who are going to be competing for $1 million. And for the first time ever, he's going to be a member of a team. So not only will you be watching Ken and admiring how brilliant he is as a competitor on Jeopardy, but you'll be watching his teammates also. And that puts a little extra pressure on these individuals, because now they're not only playing just for themselves and able to take defeat easily, they don't want to let their teammates down. So, yeah, lots of pressure.
I'll bet it all.
He has the record of having won the most games on Jeopardy, 74 games. But keep in mind also that he had his great winning streak almost 2 decades ago. So some of the other players, some of the other captains, Buzzy Cohen, for instance, is out to take down these old guard champions like Ken Jennings and Brad Rutter. Buzzy is part of the new brigade, and he feels, hey, we are just as good as these old-timers.
This feels huge. Now, hey, I got to spend some time on the Jeopardy set a while back, and I had the pleasure of interviewing you. This is a well-oiled machine down there. How does the energy change a little bit when you guys change the format so drastically like this?
Well, the energy changes, as you can well appreciate, because it's something new. We haven't done it before. We don't know how it's going to work. We don't know what the reaction of the viewers is going to be to this new format for this tournament. And so we're all on edge a little bit more. We're all very excited, and we're trying harder. It's like when we do Celebrity Jeopardy. People ask me, do you ever get nervous hosting the show? And most of the time, I don't get nervous because I'm so used to it now after 35 years. But when we do Celebrity Jeopardy, when we do something like the All-Star competition, which is a team event, it's new, it's different. I have to be on my toes so that I don't make mistakes. So yes, I am nervous about this event.
I have to ask you this question again. What do you love most about your job?
Oh gosh, the fact that I get to spend 30 minutes each day with 3 very bright individuals. I tell our studio audiences that I love being with intelligent people. I hate spending time with stupid people. And so I couldn't ask for a better job than hosting Jeopardy.
Well, Alex, you've been spending time with me today. I hope I'm not stupid. I hope I'm one of your pals. Hey, thanks for joining us today.
Not at all, Guard. Not at all.
You can watch Jeopardy weeknights at 7:30 right here on Como 4. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Refined. I'm Guard Swanson. You know, Seattle is home to some pretty amazing restaurants, but there's one award-winning local chef who is such an icon of her cuisine. She's known all over the world. It all has to do with noodles. And as Refined's Brandon Bernstead discovered, it's an art only a handful have mastered.
Soba is an ancient art. Buckwheat noodles served with broth, a staple of Japanese cuisine for centuries. It's traditional food made through a painstaking process. At Kamanegi, chef and owner Matsuko Soma carries on that tradition, one passed down from her grandmother in Japan.
I was growing up with eating soba noodle made by my grandmother with my family. So that's became an important moment of my life.
Soba is simple, deceptively so. Just 2 ingredients, flour and water.
Cold day, you need more water. Hot day, you need less water.
Soma is one of just a handful of chefs in the U.S. making soba from scratch. She learned the craft in her native Japan and honed her skills through years in restaurants. Everything is done by feel. No tools, just touch. To watch Chef Soma make soba is to watch a master at work, an artist painting on a flour-covered canvas.
Rolling part is actually my favorite part. It's like a swimming. I don't need the pressure, it's just swimming.
It's rhythmic, almost meditative. The rolling pin gliding across the surface of the dough. When the dough covers the table, it's ready. 1.2 millimeters thick. There is no need to measure. Soma can tell simply by looking. The noodles are cut with practiced precision. The staccato drumbeat of the razor-sharp blade making contact with the cutting board. The entire process takes 30 minutes, a half hour for 14 portions of noodles.
Soba noodle is traditional food from Japan, and just passing generation to generation, like tradition, just make me so proud.
So you're gonna pass the soba tradition on to your daughter then?
Yeah, like my grandma did.
I'm Brandon Bernstead, Seattle Refined.
To learn more about all these noodles and to see it again, all you have to do is log on to our website.
All right, that's it for today's show. I'm Guard Swanson. Thank you so much for joining us here on Seattle Refined. We'll see you next time.